Welcome to our very first episode of Business Vibes Only. Now, listen, since you're already here, go ahead and like and subscribe because I have an amazing guest with me today. Now, she has carved out a remarkable career specializing as a textured hair coach. She's also an expert in guiding clients through transformative hair care experiences. Now, back in 2020, she launched a hair and body care line known as Cecilia Pearl. Following that with the creation of her blog, Abide and Ride. Now, she's also very well educated. She has a business management degree from Austin Peay State University, and she's licensed in cosmetology and natural hair. Please welcome Heart For Hair Salon owner, Miss Simone Parke.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you once again for doing this.
No problem.
Just to let y'all know a little background, I met Simone at the Business Connect brunch that Mount Zion hosts every year. And we just kind of got to know each other, and I realized she's an entrepreneur, and it's like, okay, great. And so there's a few questions that I hadn't asked you before agreeing to do the podcast that I want to get into now.
Let's go.
All right, let's talk business. All right, so I want to know what sparked your passion for hair and inspired you to start your salon, because it's not easy.
Yeah. So the main thing that sparked my passion for hair was actually seeing what my hair could do. So I grew up natural, of course.
Mm-hmm.
My mom made me wait to get a relaxer until I was 12 years old.
Wow.
She was like, nope, we're going to wait until you're a little older.
She did the right thing.
She did the right thing. At the time, it was the struggle because I grew up in South Florida. So it's extremely humid in South Florida, okay?
That's why I can't do it.
This would not last in South Florida, okay? You could barely last here. But she made me wait till I was 12. And then after that, I basically would just get relaxers like every 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like clockwork. And so by the time I got to college, or probably when I got to high school, when I moved to Nashville, my stylist at the time, she was telling me like, hey, well, it's not as humid here. We probably can transition you out and just flat iron your hair and just keep up with your trims and everything. So I was a straight natural over time.
Okay.
But then when I got to college, one of my friends, his mom, she was a YouTube vlogger, and she would focus on like hair and textured hair and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved her curls. And I was like, well, I wish my hair could do that. She was like, it probably can if you don't have a relaxer. I was like, well, let's try it out. When I saw what my curls could do, I was like, I got to get into this. And that is actually where it started in college, discovering my hair and what it looks like. And then people asked me to do their hair. My residents, when I was a resident assistant, asked me to do their hair. And then it kind of just spiraled from there.
Wow. Okay, so then I want to talk about, because you always tell me like you're an educator first, right?
Yes.
So yes, you're a wonderful stylist, but tell me the education part.
So I feel like in order for a client and a hairstylist work together. So it's one thing to just have a client come in, you style their hair, then you're done. But it's another thing to style their hair, teach them how to maintain. And it's like a partnership together, because what really hit me about the education factor was during the pandemic when people were struggling. Like I was recovering a lot of hair after the pandemic. Like I was like, what?
They couldn't maintain their healthy hair. They could style it, but not keep it healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so some couldn't even style it. So I remember doing one class was a virtual class with one person where we were teaching how to do styling. So I was like, let me add this to my list. And then I did, that's when I started doing product kits. So I would evaluate the situation with their hair and their scalp, and then I would create kits for them. They pay for it, I send it out, or they pick it up. And so
that's a great idea.
So I do that now. I don't try to stock up on a whole bunch of inventory.
Yeah.
I make kits for people. They pre-order it. I pay for it, and then give it to them. So I think that empowers people for one. It shows them like, wow, my hair is not difficult. It's not extra, because especially being natural, you're like, my hair is a lot. You're taught that in our society, it's just too much. When it's not, it just needs a little bit more TLC in a regimen.
Taught the right methods and products for your hair.
Yep.
And okay. Yeah, that is very, very true. Because my hair journey, it's been a journey.
Yeah.
For real. Because I went natural being in college, and I loved it. And then as I got older and now I have a son, it's like, I don't have 45 minutes struggling with my hair to put it up in a bun. Like, because the curl pattern just,
Yeah.
Or like you said, with the humidity, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely a need for most people. And especially because if you grow up, in Black families, we know how to style hair. My mother had been braiding my hair, my sister's hair. But as far as keeping it healthy, teaching us how to manage it, teaching us about hydration and about, we was slapping oil on it. Blue magic, if you old enough to know what that
Lord,
is. Okay.
have mercy, the blue magic. Blue magic.
We really didn't understand the science of hair. And so I'm glad that you are now making sure that we as Black people, you know how we are about our hair now. We don't play.
We don't play.
But we need to know down to the molecules what's necessary. So I appreciate you for that.
Absolutely. I love it. And then I love seeing the fact that people get empowered by it. Like, they're like, okay, my hair, and then they come in and we're seeing progress. Because my cosmetology school, they were the ones that taught me. It was Aveda. Shout out to Aveda Institute, Nashville specifically. But they taught us that if you style a client's hair without giving them product, that's almost like giving someone a car without car insurance. Like, you need to give them insurance to ensure that the style lasts long, but then also long term, you're encouraging them to take care of their hair, and then down the road, you see better results when it comes to the health of their hair and their scalp. So all of it's like education. Like, without education, you're just having someone come in, style, and then go. And you're not setting them up for success.
And then you're having to pretty much repair
work
every
10 times
time
more.
they come back. You are the first stylist that I've ever talked to that said that they come to you and then you also give them products. Like this product kit that you're talking about, you're the first stylist that I've ever mentioned that. There are many stylists that sell products there. But that brand or that kind doesn't necessarily mean that's what's best for their client's hair, right? Let's say Design Essentials or whatever brand that stylist might have there. You
They'll
actually
push the brand.
They push that brand, right?
Yeah.
But you actually customize products for them. You're the first stylist I've known to do that now. Now that's amazing. I like that. Because what I love most about business is the creativity behind any industry that you're in. Whatever business or whatever service that you provide, right? There's always other elements of creativity. And I want to segue this into the fact that I know, you have the salon, you have your hair care products, you do educational courses and things like that. I preach growth and sustainability to my clients. Okay. That is the biggest thing for me as a consultant, to make sure that when a client comes to me, that they are indeed growing and able to manage and sustain that growth, right? For the longevity of their business. So tell me, how did you manage to start these several streams of income, right? Because that's growth and sustainability. Okay. How did you start that? How did you go from the salon to the products and the kits and the courses? What was that process?
Well, it was a journey.
I'm sure.
Things kind of were things were added as I went.
Okay.
The main thing being the hairstylist and selling product was simultaneous, because we're always taught that if you don't sell inventory, you're playing yourself. So with being a hairstylist, I really feel like no hairstylist, if you are doing what you're supposed to do, should be broke. Ever. Okay? Ever. This is a lucrative industry if you know how to work it.
Very much so.
So we were always taught, make sure that you're having them leave with something. The way that you build trust, though, and long-term income is by emphasizing not just what you not just you trying to just sell them product, but really focusing on, okay, what is your need? What is your desire? And listening to the client. And then from there, you say back to them, because this is the psychology part, you say back to them, okay, you said, based on what I'm hearing you say, it sounds like you're needing A, B, C, D. So based on what you said, I would recommend this, versus I think you should take this.
Right. See, that etiquette part and that consulting part is what needs to be taught. And I don't know if they teach that in cosmetology, but I know that
did.
Okay. Because honestly, like you said, because the service industry specifically for hair is so big, yes, you should have a thriving, growing clientele, right? But the easiest way to lose clients is simply not listening to them, not getting them the service that they want and they need. And then, of course,
unrealistic expectations. Not being honest,
for sure.
And focusing on the dollar today versus the dollar in a year. Because that'll make you lose clients very quick. Yep.
And that's true. So I appreciate you for saying this, because I feel like that's a part of, there are hairstylists everywhere, right? But that's a part of it that people don't touch on as much. They focus on the technique of styling and your incredible skill and your craft. And as wonderful as that is, you also have to handle the business side of it, consulting. Your clients are your bread and butter.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So add that in there.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna send some people your way just in case, for real. Especially because I there are a lot of young people, especially with cosmetology in schools, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
With aspirations of wanting to be a stylist, but they're not taught the part that you just discussed.
Yep.
So that's amazing.
Care.
Yes.
And to your other question about workshops.
Yes.
So when I started seeing, for one, I just love, like I was telling Martika about the fact that I was not the kid that was playing with their doll's hair growing up.
You did say
I was not. I was the person that had my dolls lined up with my teddy bears, teaching them, telling them what to do. Like, hey, you should do da. Like, I don't know what I said specifically. My mom was just like, she would just see me pointing at them and everything. So that was me. I always loved education. So when I started seeing that passion, even in school, where like me and another young lady, because we were the only, I don't know if we're the only Black girls. We're the few, very few. Yeah, it was just a few of us in our class. And we would be teaching people how to do natural hair. Because Aveda's, they're getting better with it, I believe. I don't know what the update is now, but back then, natural hair wasn't a big thing in cosmetology school. Right. I think the chapter was very short, like very short, and then you kind of figure it out.
Okay.
So even there, I found myself like educating and everything there, and my educators would notice it, like, you should probably look into this. So over time, people kept dropping things that they would notice. And sometimes I believe that sometimes you may not see something within yourself, but that's why it's important to have the right community around you, because other people will see it and they'll call it out and they'll be like, hey, you noticed this? Or, hey, I see you doing this. And I'm like, okay. And over time, I'm like, oh, this really gets me excited. So then that's when my clients started mentioning the need for it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let me test it with a couple of people first. And then when I started at work, I said, let me add this as a service.
Right.
And so it kind of grew from there. And it's still growing. Like, I'm still finding ways to be like, how can I make this better? How can I figure out ways to promote it more and really be serious about it versus like, oh, it's on my website. You can book it as you go. Like, I could do better with promoting it more.
And you will.
And I will.
And you will.
And I am.
So one thing that I can tell you that I don't like about social media is that social media pushes all the benefits of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
All the success and the glory of entrepreneurship. But what I don't find a lot of are people just being real, talking about the obstacles, the challenges, the journey, the process that they had to go through. Instead, we see where they are now, but we don't know the story of where they came from.
The tip of the iceberg.
Right. So tell me, what were some of the challenges that you faced, in this whole journey?
Yeah. I would say for me, there have been a lot, but I think the biggest thing to make someone stand out is discovering your why and finding the main thing that really works for you. And I think that journey had me really dive into a lot of my identity. Obviously, your job, your career does not define who you are, but the more you tap into who you are and why you're here on earth, like I had a season in my life where I was like, God, what do you see when you look at me? And
I like that.
Yeah, like, what do you see? Because I don't want to get defined by everybody else. Like he's been like a father to me. So my father passed when I was younger. So a lot of the things I would have gotten from my father, I had to get from my heavenly Father. And that was something I was like, what do you see when you look at me? He told me, beauty awakener. Those are the 2 words he said, beauty awakener. It's like, you awaken the beauty in people and things. Like, that is the foundation of why you're doing hair. And one of my mom's friends, whenever I go into a space, I've had my people come and we pray over the space. And she said, I will never forget. In the first suite that I was in, she said, don't forget the heart behind the hair. This is the purpose of why you're here.
And that's how Heart For Hair Salon?
No.
That's not?
Nope. But that would have been great. That would have been so good. Heart For Hair actually came about because I really just loved it. It used to be called Heart For Hair Care in college.
Okay.
So I love hair care and everything because, oh man. Oh, what? Because it's a whole thing. Oh, my God. Okay. We'll bring it back and then we'll go to that because that's good. Okay. All right. So she told me, don't forget the heart behind the hair because that is the purpose of why you're here. That has stuck with me until this day. And one of the, I would say not hurdle, but one of the things that was a big part of my journey was also humility, like growing in humility. So after a while, I started getting comfortable and I was like, oh, okay, well, all right. I was still kind and like professional, but I was treating clients. Like, thank you so much. All right. Like,
Right. Yeah.
And then there'd be moments where I wouldn't show as much grace. I wasn't as flexible. Now, granted, I did have to have a seat. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to structure your boundaries that fit your business.
Yes.
And then my friend, she told me, after you've learned the boundaries that are necessary, for us, we're believers. So we said, we have to ask God, Lord, what is my culture of generosity in this season? After you've taught me these boundaries, thank you for the boundaries.
Yep.
Now, how do I cultivate a culture of generosity while still honoring my boundaries? That was very hard for me.
Talk about those boundaries. Yeah.
I was emotionally led in business before. I used to be like, oh, well, you didn't like your hair. Oh my gosh. Like the feelings and all that stuff.
Right.
And then like, I had one client there. She said, you were just apologizing profusely. Like, oh my gosh, like, it's okay. But I used to really like, because I saw them as family.
Yeah.
But over time, I had to realize, like, no, like, I am your stylist.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And sometimes some things, like, some friendships grow from that. But I had to learn how to separate emotions from business and check my emotions at the door.
Yep.
And so, in summary, creating healthy boundaries in business that are still honoring the client, letting them know they're welcomed and loved and care for them and everything like that. But then also being stern with, hey, this is the policy. I'm so sorry.
Right.
And then the other part, after setting the boundaries and honoring them, having the wisdom and sensitivity to knowing when to be flexible to create that culture of generosity. And then the other part would be knowing my why, receiving from me, from the Lord, like, God, how do you see me? Letting him define my why and why I'm doing this thing, being the beauty awakener that he told me that I am, as well as remembering the heart behind the hair.
Yeah.
The reason why that stuck with me till this day is because in the moments where I become transactional, people can feel that.
Yes, they can.
And I have that word of remembering is the heart behind the hair helps me to slow down and be sensitive to, in this moment, what is this person communicating? What are they not communicating? Am I making them feel welcomed? Am I bringing my stresses from outside in here and they can feel all that?
Right.
So that helps me to just stay in a place of humility as well as sensitivity and compassion when people come into that space, because they don't come for you to be stressed. For them to be stressed.
Or for you to project any of your emotions.
Nobody want to pay for that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Nobody wants to pay for that.
Nobody.
Nobody want to. So I try to remember that when I come. It's just like, all right, everything that I need to process. And then I have some clients where we're like really good friends and we can process together about stuff and talk. But for the most part, it's usually like, this is that. Here we are. Let's get you in. Let's get you transition out and respect your time, because they're coming to relax. They're paying you to relax, not to gossip and be extra. And so we are very big about speaking life in the salon. We do. As you should do. So, my last tidbit I want to say.
Okay.
So this one is, when it comes to stylists, like, we have so much power behind the chair. We have the power to direct a conversation for good and speak life over clients and life over people, and just in general, like, to cultivate an atmosphere of positivity, because in the industry, it's known to be an industry that's messy and gossipy and, I'm this stylist, a celebrity stylist, I'm this, I'm that, instead of, I'm here to take care of you. I'm here to, like, love on you, like the guest care part, but then also a space where it can be positive and drama free.
That's the reason why the suites have grown.
Yes. It's more personable. It's more intimate.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's a more, I would say, like, positive environment.
Yeah.
Because I did booth rental at other places and they were cool, but it's just sometimes the conversations that would be had, or somebody would left and then the stylists would be gossiping about a client. No, that's not right. It's just not, like, so I think that as stylists, we have to take ownership of the fact that this person is coming in wanting to come to a space where they can relax, but then also they may have a lot of negativity in their life already. So when they get to encounter positivity and love and compassion, and not only hear you talk to them that way, but talk about other clients that way, because clients pay attention to how you treat other people.
Yes, they do.
And they'll bring it up to you and remind you. So keeping that in mind will help your business grow and thrive, because when people are around that positivity and that love, they're going to always come back, especially when you're good. But if you're good and you have a horrible attitude and you're setting a weird environment for them, they're not, 9.5 times out of 10, unless they're really desperate, that's not nice, because some people still do that.
It might not be nice, but it's the truth. And I'm keeping it on the podcast. because it's the truth. It might not be nice unless they're desperate. And then once they get the service from you, that despotism goes out the window and they choose somebody else. Give good service. Seriously. Give good service, good attitude, good energy.
Yeah.
Right? No, that's a part of business. That's the stuff I want to talk about. Okay.
Yes. That's all. Let's do desperate. No, but yes. Yeah.
Well,
give good customer service.
That's all. That's all she was trying to say.
Show up. Don't keep the deposit when you don't show up. Have you heard about that? Yeah, people keep the deposit.
I heard about that. I watched those videos, and then of course, clients, they want to leave out. They want to skip on not paying. They don't want to. Don't want to adhere to your policies and your boundaries, the things that you've set. There's a lot that happens, but I think going back to what you said, when you give the right care and service, when you remember your why, it's not transactional, right? In my experience, most of the time, when you are good to people, they're good to you.
Yeah.
Most of the time. You're always going to have those.
And I love y'all, Heart For Hair Gems. Y'all are great, okay? Y'all are great. I love mine. But no, I was saying stylists.
No, I know.
About that?
Yeah.
I didn't know until recently.
Well, yeah.
That's crazy.
You mean stylists keeping deposits and...
Yeah, and not showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Be good to your people. That's the quickest way for your business deployment.
Lord have mercy.
Right. So, okay, I know you have a lot coming up.
Oh,
please let Business Vibes Only be the first to hear it. Tell me about your events coming up, please.
So the first one is going to be my natural hair / braiding class.
Yes.
That's coming up. You'll see Business Vibes post about it.
For sure.
Okay.
And who's that geared towards so that we know?
Yes. So that is going to be geared towards young girls up until adults, like anybody who really wants to learn. But my target market is going to be mommy and me. So it'll be a mommy and me class where a mom and their daughter will come. They'll learn the braid together. Or if there's a daughter that just wants to learn on her own and mom just wants to support her, then that'll be for them.
Okay, good. And then what's your other big event that's happening?
Pearls with Poise. So Pearls with Poise is a beauty / wellness event.
Okay.
We launched it last year. I'm saying we like I got a team. I'm speaking those things.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So
you have me now. I got you. Creating a team is what I do for my clients. That's my specialty. That's why we're here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we.
So Pearls with Poise, it's something near and dear to my heart. And we launched it last year. And last year we focused on the body, the soul, and the spirit. And the soul consists of the mind, the will, the emotions. So we had a colon hydrotherapist, a mental health therapist.
Wow.
A chiropractor, my chiropractor, and a trainer. And then I also had someone to come in to give like motivational speaking for the spirit part. And so this year, after doing the review and getting everybody's feedback, everyone loved the body panel.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to learn more about gut health. Everybody wanted to learn more about, mental health they were excited about, but a lot of it was around the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm bringing that back. We're still going to have a little bit about mental health and a little bit, of course, we got to end with some Lord, some Jesus, and encourage the people with their spirit. But we're going to really focus in a lot on the body part because really beauty is from inside out.
Yes, it is.
Whatever is on the outside is a reflection of what's inside of you.
Yeah.
That's what Pearls with Poise is all about.
Okay.
So it'll be a good time.
I hope to be there.
Yes,
I am going to leave all the information in the description so you know exactly where to get information about the event and how you can attend. Simone, thank you. Thank you so very much. Okay, really quick to talk about challenge. This is our second taping of this. We had some technical difficulties. Yeah, challenges, right? Don't allow any obstacles or challenges to keep you from what you know your mission is, what your purpose is. Remember that why, like she was talking about. So before you click off of here today, thank you, number one, for being a part of our very first episode of Business Vibes Only. And I hope that you feel inspired and encouraged to continue to pursue your business dreams. All right? Let's talk business later.